Your identity shouldn't be overexpressed in the sexual realm. That they notice that that's your persona. If you're not being sexual, you're not being you. And what tends to happen with people, they don't want to get to know your real you, because you overemphasize that sexual preference and that sexuality to the point that they say that's all you good for. So they might as well, if they want to entertain that part of you, then they'll entertain you. Because clearly that's all that matters to you. When things matter to you, you express them. You make them known. And we have put too much importance in our sexuality. Too much. To the point that people are walking around and they sensitive. They sensitive if we don't acknowledge their sexual preference. However, your identity is not found in your sexual preference. Your sexual preference is your ability to feel sexually and have sexual feelings. It's not your identity. I can know you exist and acknowledge your existence without acknowledging your sexual preference. And so when you grasp that, you should be able to stand firm and wake up, get dressed, and move through the world without overemphasizing your sexual preference. Oh, you got to walk in front of guys to make sure, and bend over to make sure that they know that that's your sexual preference. You want men. Or vice versa. We are creatures that feel. And you would hate to put yourself in a position where you meet somebody that you're attracted to, but because you over-vocalized, you overemphasized in your actions, your sexuality, that they only look at you as that they don't get to know you. And so you find yourself in temporary situations, rolling in and out and in and out, when all you really want is to be wanted. And in that, it doesn't require sex. But you expressing it the wrong way. You don't have to go about wanting to be wanted by becoming desperate. Sometimes it looks as desperate. Oh, I have to overemphasize my sexuality. Sometimes it looks insecure. They say the loudest person in the room is usually the most insecure. So if you walking around overemphasizing, trying to be seen, trying to be heard, people might stand back and say, well, why are they so unsure? Are they trying to convince others or convince themselves? You should be able to exist and enjoy existing without tapping into your sexuality so much. It's a part of your life. We're wired to be intimate, physically, emotionally, and mentally, but you have to be careful. But because that the sexual realm is way more than physical, you have to be careful in who you entertain and who you're around and who you engage with. You have to be mindful. You have to realize after you are a sexual being, after your sexual orientation and being confident in it, you also have to realize that you have a fragile heart. And whether when you get hurt, you reveal it, it comes out on the reverse side as anger at times. And so you have to be able to be affirmed in knowing what your identity is. And if you don't know, take the time to know. Well, the video showed me, as long as I'm showing my butt, I exist. No, you're noticed, but they might not never want to know your name. As long as I'm flexing my muscles and winking at the girls, they know I exist. No, they know you need attention. Emotional wellness, processing things in an emotionally sane state without overdoing it. This is key, because so many people are getting lost in the sauce. Those who do not have naturally certain body parts, they're getting surgeries done to over-enhance it. So you know that they want to be seen. They want to be your dream girl when you close their eyes. Like, that's my imaginary dream girl. The way she's shaped. But you have to ask, out of all the people that want and crave your body, how many people genuinely want to know you? And is that more of a need than wanting to be seen? Wanting to arouse others? Is that way more important? Because if it is, catch yourself. Catch yourself. Be your own checking system. Because we all get sidetracked at some point or another. You might be in a room with a lot of attractive women or a lot of attractive men. And you feel like to stand out amongst the many, you're going to have to do something sexual. And that something sexual might give you the attention that you want. But it might follow with actions that you really don't want. Just be mindful. It's okay to have a certain appeal about yourself, regardless of your sexual orientation or preference. It's okay. But when you overemphasize it, you show levels of insecurity. You show levels of desperation. Because the need is too big for you to be wanted and to grasp people's attention. You could put a trash bag over a full-figured woman, and if she's full-figured, you'll still see her shape. Will guys try to inquire about her? Sure. Because you see her, and that might appeal to them, regardless what type of garment or lack of garment, and she got a trash bag on is. All I'm saying is pipe down. Because you'll find yourself damaged and hurt and in a corner. Maybe not physically, but definitely emotionally. And you'll be confused and mad at the world and mad at the fact that, oh, this person hurt me, that person hurt me, this person. But are you attracting that part of them that they can only give to you? Because some people are not emotionally available. And so it's easy for them to connect intimately because it's just a physical act to them. And if you know you can't do that and you engage with them, it could get real tricky and real dangerous for you. So you have to put the correct labels on what things are and understand yourself and what you want. And then look at the real definition of sexuality, the real definition of identity. Even look for the examples under each definition. And then process life and stay emotionally sane. But you don't want to go off the deep end. Because regardless what sex you're attracted with, you can find yourself running through so many people you don't recognize yourself. Then your identity is lost. You look in the mirror and you don't know who or what you're looking at. Because so many people that have been in your life that didn't deserve you, but they knew how to entertain you to the point that you physically become immersed in their existence. And then you lose sight of who you are and what you feel and what you want. My encouragement is to tread lightly. And until it makes sense and you label it correctly. Don't say that you're cool, because sometimes you're not cool. Sometimes certain experiences have traumatized you and have given you a perverted vision on how to process life. And knowing that is half the battle. Because if you know that you are affected by certain experiences and you're processing the world after those experiences as such, then you can get help. Yanking on a professional and saying, I need help just to get back to being emotionally sane like others. And that's okay. That is okay. You need to know that's okay. That's why life coaches exist. That's why counselors exist. That's why therapists exist. Because just like it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a network of adults to keep people on track. And that's fine. You need to know that's fine. So you can embrace the process that you need to go through. And not become your worst enemy and be resistant through the whole process. Because you're not acknowledging it as a normal activity that anyone can go through. You can look back at times where you did overemphasize your sexuality and then learn from it so you can be different. But you have to process life as such, reality as such. This concludes part 1 of Sexuality on this Tuesday. I will be covering part 2 and diving deeper into the topic so we walk away with a full scope on the topic at hand. This concludes ER Emotional Response Podcast this Tuesday. Tune in this Thursday as we dive into part 2. Sexuality versus our real identity and reality. And this wraps it up. Life Coaching with Inc.